I'm Arthur Moats, and I'm here to tell you about my new book, The Moats Theory of Life. If you haven't picked up a copy yet, I strongly encourage you to. This book not only is a fun read, but it's a guide to helping you become a person of impact and inspiration. If you are ready to take the next step to improving not only your life, but those around you as well, go get a copy of The Moats Theory of Life, and it's available at moatstheory.com. What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's good, man?
I like the new hat.
I told you I had something cooking.
I like the new hat. Shout out to Deke, man.
Same vibe and everything.
It goes with everything. Yep. Iconic logo.
Navy blue and white. It'll go with everything.
Let's go.
Yep.
I love it. Man, that's a big time move by you, man. Not a lot of people can do that. Because, see, some people going to twist it and say, oh, you let the fans get to you. No. I look at it different. I say it like this.
Yeah.
It takes a man to say, you know what? Bump that. I can admit that I'm going to change it up. I can admit that, you know what? Maybe the socks was misconstrued. It was a mixed message. Okay, cool. I'm big enough and bad enough to throw in a pirate's head, and ain't nothing y'all could do about it because I'm Deke, and I'm going to show the taco meat today. I like it, baby. I like it.
Exactly. No, that is the exact mindset. My intentions with the socks out, we've been over it many times.
Yes.
It was never about Boston or the team. It was just, I needed a hat at the time, and I liked the look of it.
Yeah.
It was baseball to it, and nothing to do with football, in my opinion. Right. So never even thought of, oh, it's B, it represents Boston. I thought it was the look. Yeah. And now I'm talking to you about sports and Pittsburgh sports, and I'm just wearing the hat nonchalantly here and there. And people would comment. And
even though I do feel some type of, like, I get mixed feelings sometimes because, like you said, it's iconic. But for me, I love NBA hats. And the Boston Celtics, that logo, oh man, they got this. It's a hat. I was like, yo,
you like it or you don't?
I love it. I love it. Yeah. I was like, man,
that is a classic.
It is.
Celtics, Lakers, Bulls. Those are probably the three most classic in the NBA.
Bro. Yeah, I saw it touch my heart.
Yeah. Speaking of Bulls, I mean, that was awesome.
See, I ain't even watching, man.
No way.
I didn't, bro.
Why? Are you being that guy of like?
I'm not that guy. It's the time. Remember, I always tell you this, right? Sunday nights. I was like, that's me and my family watching movies.
Right.
And it's the movie time.
Okay.
So I'm like, I can't turn the fam down for Jordan. I'm like,
That's always going to be there. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, I'm
you
like,
can watch it today. You can watch tomorrow.
Easily. But I was like, I can't say, hey, babe, hey, kids, I know we do this every Sunday, coronavirus or not. We watch movies on the weekend every night. I was like, I just can't do it.
Dude, it's wild.
I heard it was, though, bro.
Just because, for me, you just hear the story of 6 championships. Yeah. This is the greatest team ever. You never hear about issues or what was going on, especially that last season. Oh, my goodness. You would be like so shocked.
It's a ton in there,
but
man.
You were probably getting, you were getting more into sports at that point because you're a little older than me. Because I had no clue. I had no clue.
It was funny though, man, when the documentary, the first part dropped yesterday or whatever, my cousin, he posted a picture of me and him. We're probably maybe 10. I got the Jordan red on. He got the pinstripe Jordan. We in that Jordan in the front yard like this. Iconic, bro. I was like, yo, thanks for the memory. I appreciate you. I had the old school Barclays on. He had the kamikaze Reebok joints, the Shine Caps. Yeah. I was like, oh, bro, this is nuts.
That's clean, man.
Rocking some jorts, baby. Keeping it classic.
That's clean.
Yeah, man.
Well, we got to get into some football here.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited, bro.
This is a show that people have been waiting for.
Draft week, man. They wanted to hear what we have to say when it comes to draft picks and who the Steelers should select with the 49th pick.
We've been holding out.
Trade up, trade down. We said, man, look, we're going to drop it when we are ready to drop it. We're not going to let these people influence us. We're not going to let them speed up our clock because we have content on content. We're not like some of these other shows that are struggling for info. They're struggling for content. I said, we got the opposite issue. We got too much content right now. We're trying to space it out.
Well, there's that, and I would have probably 3 or 4 different picks at this point now, too. Right?
Strong possibility. Mock draft 1 for Deke. Mock draft 2 for Deke. Mock draft 3 for Deke.
Which is fine. I mean, the professionals do that, so we wouldn't be too far off.
Hey, we kind of did joke about it. We said everybody has a mock draft. You don't even have to be an official NFL scout. You just wrote one article, drop a mock draft, you good. And everybody, I mean, you Google it and all these drafts just pop up. You're like, yo, everybody has an idea. Everybody has an opinion. And everybody's wrong, but I love it.
It is fun. Like, as much as it is just nonsense, it is fun at the same time.
Yeah, bro. It's something about it. I said, man, the NFL mock drafts are kind of like when people make their tournament brackets for March Madness. Like, you don't really know. You got an idea of maybe like the top seeds. Oh, you know Duke's a 1 seed. You know UNC is a 1 seed. So you know, okay, that's probably number 1 draft pick. He's a top 5 pick. But after that, man, you just flipping a coin, baby.
If you're in the top 10 or 15, I mean, this time period is when you do have a blast. Right. Just because this could be the pick that really changes things. Absolutely. Especially if you're looking for a quarterback.
Yes, absolutely, man.
So
with the Steelers 49th
yeah, do we want to dig right into it right here?
Let's do it. So I guess I should go first, huh?
Just who you're picking? Like, is that how we're gonna do it?
Well, so this is my thing, man. When we talk about first off the needs for the Steelers, we already listed some. We said running back. We talked receivers. Inside linebacker, outside linebacker, especially with the lack of depth that they have at both of those positions.
Maybe safety.
Yeah, we talked about that too, just because you don't really have anybody behind them like that. People are still on the fence about Terrell Edmonds, even though I think he's going to be fine. You still have just, like I said, and the thing that everybody's saying that the Steelers have no major hole, but it's like a lot of little things that if this were to happen, this could be bad.
It could be catastrophic.
I mean, even some people link quarterback to him just because they say, I mean, we talked about that too with Jameis, just in not even trying to be funny, but in the sense of, if Ben were to go down again, who is your backup? If Ben struggles at any point in the season because of him coming off of surgery, who's the guy you're turning to? So that was another big conversation, because you're saying to yourself, do you want to waste all the talent that you already have on this team, not having anybody that's adequate enough to back him up? So that's another conversation that people have had. Why you see a lot of people have mocked different quarterbacks to the Steelers as well. Yeah. So I guess with that being said, I'll go ahead and drop mine first.
Okay. With the
49th pick
in the 2020 NFL draft being done over Zoom.
So you know me. You know I never have just a straight answer, right? I never have just a straight pick. I have a pick / either or /
Oh, man. A trade scenario?
No trade. So this is my situation, right? So I say to myself, if I'm Kevin Colbert, you really have to weigh which position you feel more comfortable with between running back and outside linebacker. The two guys I'm looking at, running back is Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of LSU, 1,000-yard rusher. Obviously was a part of a very prolific offense in LSU with Joe Burrow. The receivers down there, I mean, they were stacked. But then I also look at the edge rusher out of Michigan, Josh Uche. And he's another guy that was very productive, can rush the passer, speed rusher, kind of undersized, but very productive, has position flexibility. I think about the things that they use TJ Watt for in terms of him rushing off the edge, then the rover package where he's roaming around in the inside, dropping into coverage. He's a guy that can do that. And obviously, you have to ask yourself, okay, if you're not planning on getting a long-term deal done with Bud because you already want to get the deal done with TJ.
Although there are, you see some of the stuff now?
I see it, but I don't, money-wise, how does that work?
Yeah.
And that's going to be the biggest issue. How do you get that deal done? I personally don't see it happening.
It's just funny, the bold call, Steeler for life. Like,
it's nuts right now.
It's just a bold call. But hey, I mean, you like the headline.
Yeah. So my whole thing is, does Kevin Colbert want to already bring in the replacement for Bud without having him have to come in and be the day one starter this year? He has a chance to be the third rusher, get some special teams reps, learn from those guys, and then when his number is called, whether it's later this year or next year, he's already ready. I said, so that's the one thing I look at. Then when the running back position, we already talked about it. Okay, you have James Conner, who's proven when healthy, he can be a top-notch running back, a Pro Bowl caliber running back. But the problem is he deals with a lot of injuries, and not just the injuries that keep him out, the nagging injuries that'll last for 2 to 3 games, and you'll see him not be his full self, or he's playing a couple of plays and then having to take himself out the game. Those are the things that I'm looking at, and you have to ask yourself, okay, if you're Kevin Colbert, which one is the bigger need right now, because both of these players, they got the same draft grade pretty much, that second to third round. So whichever one you go with, you're taking a chance that, hey, you might be able to get the other guy, but it's a strong possibility that you won't also. So when I looked at those things, for me, I said, personally, I think I would go Josh Uche, the edge rusher out of Michigan, just because you know for a fact right now with Bud, he has this franchise tag year. And unless he's taking a crazy discount or some money magically frees up, which we're not going to get into how that could happen, I personally don't see them getting that deal done with him, because they want to get that deal done with TJ. You know he's going to get a blank check. You know they're going to want to extend Cam Hayward. So when you look at all those things, how are they going to be able to take care of him? The running back room with James Conner, I'm banking on him being healthy. And if he is healthy, you know what you have in him. But even if he's not, Benny Snell has shown that he can play and produce in a limited capacity. But you have to anticipate him taking a larger step. But that's going to be a little mixed up, just simply because this offseason how it's played out. I mean, they're not getting the traditional OTAs. Mm-hmm. They're not going to get the traditional reps that they're accustomed to. Even their training at home is different, because a lot of these gyms are closed. You might have your private guy that you're working with, but depending on how he feels about the whole COVID-19 thing, he might say, hey, man, I'm social distancing. I don't have time for this. Like, you just don't know, because everybody has reacted so differently to it. So I think those are a lot of the things that are being talked about and are being discussed. And that's why I would say that they would lean more towards the edge guy, because you don't have to have so much pressure on this guy coming in. And you know, okay, I have time to get another running back later in the draft potentially, or even next year. So what about you, man?
Okay. I'm just going to say my picks. Now, here's the thing with your pick. Mm-hmm. I'm curious if you think my guy's just going to be off the board as to why you didn't take him. So I'm saying Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I watched the highlights.
He's a beast.
I see the stats. I see the production. I mean, eye test, everything's there. I mean, 4.4 speed. I think he was 4.39 or something.
Yeah,
speed.
Yeah, roll. Mm-hmm.
Like, not your traditional Wisconsin running back, the bruiser type, because that's what I was thinking.
Not your Ron Danes.
Nope. Yeah. Even Monte Ball. I mean, Melvin Gordon's obviously been a success in the NFL, but I mean, Taylor looks legit.
Well, and the thing, when they talk about Taylor, I guess the knock on him right now is the amount of touches.
I was going to ask you about that, yeah.
So we talked about how Le'Veon, I mean, he had a lot of touches in college, but we talked about those last 2 years at Pittsburgh, 400 touches back-to-back years. When we're looking at Jonathan Taylor, he was like that in college. So a ton of mileage on him. So I think that's the only thing that's
in terms of serious hits though. I mean, I was seeing his yards per carry. He was getting like 5-6 yards a pop.
Absolutely. But the thing is this, 5-6 yards a pop, he still ends with the pop.
I mean, somewhat. I mean, it's not the hey, I'm running into the line.
I don't think you understand, man. The running back, like, cause that's the thing. A wide receiver, right? You catch the ball. Sometimes you run out of bounds, right? Or you hit your smaller DB, you're pushing each other, you fall out of bounds. Running backs, they run hard. So as a defender, you don't just get the easy, we're going to take this play off and just slowly hit this. Like, every time you hit a running back, you have to try to like bang him up. Like, you want to bang a running back out. So you shooting at the knees, you trying to gang tackle him. Like, so I understand you saying the fiver's pop, he's not getting hit like that, but they take a ton of punches, which is why the career span is so short, and which is why a lot of people are like, oh, you don't need to pay a running back. Just get another guy because they're going to get used up. That's why, because there are no easy hits on running, not good running backs at least. I mean, if you're a guy that's, I'm running out of bounds all the time, what type of running back is that? You don't want that. Imagine if every time the running back was about to break. Imagine if Willie Parker, every time he's about to break a long run, man, somebody's like, I'm just step out of bounds. I want to get this hit. You would feel some type of way. You would. Let's be real. You would. And every time they get hit every play, regardless if they touch the ball or not. Somebody is touching them every play.
What's interesting, by all accounts of research I've done on Franco, that's what he used to do. Mm-hmm. And people would be really mad at that. Yeah. It's the truth.
and then you got a guy like Jim Brown who's like, I would never run out of bounds. I looked at it like it was a disgrace if I ran out of bounds. And Le'Veon, he emulated that. He would not, his Le'Veon would never want to run out of bounds. He's going to try to get, and I was in these meetings with Coach T. He preaches that finish the run. Finishing the run is not running out of bounds. Finishing the run is not getting down before contact. Finishing the run is make every defender hate the fact that they got to tackle you. Like that's when a running back, that's their mindset. Like, yo, I want you to hate the fact that you got to hit me today. Like you're gonna hate every snap of it. So that's the only thing. Like when we talk about the 5 yards per carry and stuff like that.
Did you think he was going to be gone at that point?
I personally do.
Would you take him over the back that you said?
Yeah, well, this is the thing, though. I said, man, let's look at the teams that need running backs. The Miami Dolphins, they have multiple picks in the first round. Plus, they're going to be picking ahead of the Steelers in the second round. The Cincinnati Bengals, they're a team that could potentially be looking because Joe Mixon's contract is coming up. And if they're not willing to pay him, they got to get ready to replace him, which we've seen. That's the circle of life in the running back with in the NFL. Then I said, who else? Gosh, I'm drawing a blank on a team. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, so I have another scenario.
Dolphins. It was Dolphins, Bengals. Oh, Baltimore Ravens. Because Mark Ingram, he has 2 years left on his deal, but depending on how they feel about him, and he isn't like these other guys. When we're talking about a J.K. Downs, when we're talking about a Jonathan Taylor, when we're talking about the kid out of Florida State. Like,
Akers,
yeah, those guys can come in and produce at that same type of level. And then also the Chargers, even though they just extended Austin Eckler
they need a real back.
Right, and he's always split carries. He's never been the guy. All of those teams that I just named are going to have multiple picks prior to us. And that's why I think all of those top-notch backs, the DeAndre Swifts, the Jonathan Taylors, the J.K. Dobbins, I don't see them really slide into 49. Now, if we trade up, I think that's different.
I don't think we should do that.
I agree.
We can't afford to do that. So here's the other scenario.
Whoa, what? You're changing up on me. You're Mr. Gung Ho, trade them all. You said trade them all.
Not for running back. Dude, there isn't anyone. I mean, if we're gonna do that, we better be trading for Judy or CD Lamb, any of those receivers. That's who we got to be trading up for, or Simmons, or picks that are just completely out of our reach.
Yeah,
that's my opinion at least. Yeah, I don't know how much that would cost to get those guys. I mean, Juju would probably have to be part of that type of deal.
Strong possibility would have to be part of that deal.
I mean,
I'm not going down there with you. I'm not going down there with you.
Nah, I'm good with what we got. I'm good with Juju. So here's the other scenario then. There's rumors circulating right now.
Uh-oh, let's go.
And this would completely eliminate the need to get this running back.
Okay.
Fournette is on the block.
I saw that.
Dude, this could be perfect.
What would you have to give up for Fournette, though?
They're saying late round pick. They're saying 4th, 5th, because it's just going to be a 1-year deal.
True. It's
just going to be like a 1-year rental scenario, and that would be perfect for us for this year. Fournette is a Steelers type of running back, dude.
Oh, man, that's going to be tough.
Could we afford it? I think they said around $4 million for this year. You've seen how we've been able to navigate things and get the cap space right.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. For me, I would much rather bring in Shady Roll with Shady Connor and Benny Snell than Fournette, man.
Why?
Cheaper option, bro, and it's less headaches. You gotta think about this. Because think about this, right? You just said it yourself. It's a 1-year deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're on a 1-year deal in this contract, you know what you're thinking about the whole time, right? I gotta get mine so I can get paid. And on top of this, he's not even going to be invested because it's not like he's been here. If he's homegrown, it's different. Like with Bud, he was homegrown, so his handling of the contract situation was totally different just because he's
family,
been here.
Yeah.
Right. When you're getting here on a trade and I have to prove myself to get paid because it's not like, oh, we're going to trade for him and automatically start negotiating. That's different. DeAndre Hopkins, that's what they're doing with him in Arizona. Trade for you. Let's negotiate you a better deal. We're good. Peace. Right. But like with Fournette, he's coming here on a 1 year. Like, bro, I'm trying to hit the lottery. I just saw what Derrick Henry was getting. I'm seeing what Christian McCaffrey's getting. I'm seeing what Le'Veon and all these other guys are getting. I want to get paid.
He's not getting what those guys are getting right now based off his production. So he would need to produce.
Exactly. So how does that work though?
He would want to ball out.
He's gonna want the ball.
Right. Yeah. He'd be the workhorse that we brought.
Yeah.
He definitely would be.
All I'm saying is, man,
you're saying you wouldn't want the conflict between him and Connor then,
and not just him and Connor. If the way he's used to getting the ball in Jacksonville, that isn't the style of offense that we play in Pittsburgh. So now your receiver's going to feel some type of way. The receiver's turning into blockers now.
He did catch a lot of passes though. So we could be running those.
Bro, all I'm saying is that is a different type of animal. You don't really understand that contract year vibe. Like when it's contract year, even when you're on the team.
So he wants the ball.
And I can speak from experience.
I like hearing that though.
I can speak from experience, bro. When it's contract year, you have to fight yourself to say, hey, team first. Because the whole time of your mind, you're like, yo, I'm doing whatever it takes for me to get off. I don't care about you guys. I got to get paid. So
Part of me
I don't
likes
want to
hearing
block.
that.
I want to run the ball only. If it's a
He
pass
doesn't want
play,
to block.
I'm just simple. Is blocking going to get you paid?
It might a little bit. I mean, with
Is blocking going to
with
get you
the
paid?
new NFL,
Is blocking
helps.
going to get you paid? No. I want the ball. And this is the thing too. I want the ball, but you can't give me too many touches because then that's going to wear my value down. Because we already talked about with Derrick Henry, right? Oh man, would you pay Derrick Henry? You saw he's workhorse, man. They give him too many touches out there next year. It's going to fall off. Le'Veon Bell, man, that's 2 400-yard touches years, man. You can't pay that. He's used goods. So he's thinking about that too. It's a lot that goes into that dynamic, man.
So you wouldn't want it at all?
I personally wouldn't, man, because I just know the dynamic that brings. That's all I'm saying. And it's different if he was already
here. What do you think chances are? Low?
Chances of what? Him
that
actually trading to Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
I don't see it happening personally, man.
Okay.
Because this is the thing, too. You hear them say, oh, yeah, 4th-round pick. But if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, are you really going to get rid of Fournette for a 4th-round pick?
I think they're in rebuild mode right now, though.
See, I personally don't.
How? I mean, they just got rid of Ramsey.
What they already got rid of Ramsey.
No,
they got rid of Bouye. They got picks for those guys.
That's what I mean. But they were what's their hope going into this
also.
Year?
That's all I'm saying, man. Like,
what's their hope for legit Super Bowl aspirations right now? I don't think they really have much.
Like, how can you say they don't have legit Super? I feel like every team, quote unquote, has Super Bowl aspirations.
I mean, with Brady being out of New England, it
changes everything.
Free for all.
And who has a stranglehold on the AFC South? Not Houston.
Yeah, that division's a disaster.
Are you trusting the Colts right now with Phillip Rivers? No, that's wait and see.
This is actually making me mad because Titans might actually be the best.
But seriously, I hate
the Titans.
But even with the Titans, it's still a question mark with them in terms of, okay, can Tannehill replicate what he did last year? Can Derrick Henry replicate what he did last year?
Which I don't think.
Can the defense, what they were doing late in the year and in the playoffs, can they replicate that? So it's still a lot of questions. So if you're Jacksonville, you're not feeling like you're out the mix. You're not feeling like that at all. You're like, bro, I can win this division. And the way the new playoff is set up now, it doesn't matter if I'm not the 1 or 2 seed. If you're not the 1 seed, it does not matter. We're all playing in that first week of the playoffs now. That's a game changer.
The home field, though, you don't think that's?
I personally don't. You said it yourself. I mean, you've seen it multiple times. I've experienced it as well.
With Brady being out of New England, I mean, it
changes everything.
It definitely does, especially in the AFC. I mean, he's in the NFC now.
Changes everything, man.
So
all you're trying to do is not draw Kansas City. That's your. Hey, man, make sure our seed is decent enough that
I would still feel fine about it. There's not that aura about them yet.
No, I agree. I'm just simply saying they are the Super Bowl champs. So if I have to go somewhere to play, I would much rather go anywhere else but Kansas City.
Right.
With the healthy Mahomes, obviously, and everybody else around him being healthy.
Right.
That's what I think of.
Okay. I mean, I would love it. I mean, you do definitely bring up good points that I don't really consider at all.
It's just, I guess it would be different if he was already on the team because you're willing to buy into that. It's different also in a normal offseason where if you made that trade, think about this, in a normal offseason, you make that trade, he has the offseason with these guys.
Right.
OTAs, I get a chance to talk with you guys. I get a chance to buy it. I get a chance to see Ben. I get a chance to see Pounce. I get a chance to hear other stories of guys who come. I get to hear Joe Hayden tell me why you got to buy it, why it was worth it. I get to hear that. In this type of offseason right now, he's not getting that. You about to do virtual workouts.
We got technology, though.
Virtual workouts.
Joe Hayden can call them.
And we all can agree. Is a phone call the same as being around a person?
It's definitely not.
Even this. And I'll say this. You bond more with the guys while you're working out. Like once you get into the locker room conversations are fun. Don't get me wrong. And sometimes, you'll stay a little bit longer, especially if you're the new guy because you're just going back to a hotel. But you have some of the funnest times. You get that bond, that closeness with a guy when y'all running these sprints, when y'all doing these workouts and y'all about to absolutely go to blows with each other because you're hating it, because you're pushing each other to that point. And you're like, bro, I like you. like, and that's how you bond. I tell people all the time, me and TJ, we got the closest during that training camp. We had multiple injuries at the outside linebacker position, and me and him are literally taking every snap. And it's like, bro, you ain't fall out, you ain't quit. I respect you. I like you. Like for me, I don't care what nobody says. Nobody ever says you're always good in my book, and that's how it happens.
Yeah.
But he's not going to get that opportunity right now, and that's my only thing with Leonard Fournette coming to Pittsburgh.
It's definitely interesting points. He just feels like a Pittsburgh running back.
I mean, he does. Dude, he's a dog.
I know.
I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah, you saw him against us.
He can ball. And the thing is this, he's sneaky fast. Like he can go And that's the thing. It's like, bro, he's special. It's the reason why he was drafted. It's the reason why he's had the success that he's had in this league.
Yeah, despite being in Jacksonville.
Right. But for me, I'm just saying, I understand contract years. And I understand when you're in a contract year on top of being the new guy, man, it was rough for me in 2014 coming here on a 1-year deal. And I'm like,
you want to get yours?
What? It's times where they're like, yo, you were in coverage. I'm like, bro, you tripping. I'm about to blow this call on purpose. I need to rush. They don't pay me for coverage. They pay me for sacks. And the thing that make you mad is this. You'll be in coverage 20 snaps. You'll have 5 rushes and they're talking about, well, you only had a half a sack. And you're like, bro, did you watch the tape?
I'm more of a coverage linebacker anyway.
Right. You're not watching the tape. They read the stat sheet. And it's like, oh, the coach just say, hey, man, great job, man. You're covering everybody. Great job. Fans don't see none of that.
Well, you got a good opportunity because Jones went down early, right?
That helped out. But those first 2 games that he wasn't down, I don't get 3 snaps. I'm like, bro, y'all tripping. Like, I'm feeling some type of way. And that's why even when LeGarrett's situation happened, I was like, oh, I mean, you handled it wrong.
Yeah.
But I felt where he came from. Because those first 2 weeks, I was feeling that. Like, yo, y'all lied to me.
He was expecting more 50-50.
Yeah.
And we've discussed before how Tomlin likes to use running backs. If you're the hot hand, he's going to roll with you. Yeah. No reason to.
So just imagine that dynamic. James Conner contract year. Leonard Fournette contract year. James Conner homegrown. Leonard Fournette the new guy.
Fournette's you're picking Fournette.
I'm just saying.
If we're talking about trying to win and win,
how does that help the team? How does the chemistry? Because the chemistry is the most important part.
I know you did talk about that last year with losing AB and the potential
chemistry is huge, bro.
Okay.
That's small.
Stuff to consider. Man. Stuff to consider. So we both have running back though.
Yeah. Well, and I even said to myself this. I said I could even.
Well, you said outside linebacker.
Outside linebacker, but I said I could also see them going Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the running back, and then 3rd or 4th round going Jonathan Grenard out of Florida. He's another edge rusher, a little bit raw in terms of the technician and stuff like that, but still a speed rusher, has a little bit bigger frame on him, and they could get him later on, like I said, 3rd or 4th round. So you have some options in terms of how you handle it. I think
those got to be the first 2, though.
I agree.
Linebacker, either inside or outside.
Yeah, either or.
And then running back.
Because I was like, at inside linebacker, you still have Vince Williams, who's started in this league before. And depending on how comfortable you are with him, you could say, hey, man, we don't need to make a move. We're fine there.
Yeah.
But they also could say, hey, man, we need to get a guy who can come out there with Devin and run with him.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is coverage. Right.
Because the thing was, we talked about Devin.
But that would be also another reason to maybe go safety then if you wanted to do that. Have 3 safeties out there.
But the thing is, when you start going 3 safeties, now you start to tip your hand with some of these packages and you put a more of a stress on your front guys. Because when teams play small ball, and this is the thing that we used to love with Le'Veon. So if you stayed in a base package because you wanted to run the ball and you want to stop Le'Veon and Rosie next, right? You get your big people out there, your traditional 4-3, your traditional 3-4. So that's when we would start motioning L. Bell out and making these linebackers have to cover him in space. He would trash them. So then your counter to that is what? Let's go to 3 safety package. Let's go with a nickel package. Let's go to dime package, get an extra corner out there, extra cover guy. Well, now we're just going to pound the ball.
Yeah.
And then it just got to the point where Le'Veon could dice up these safeties, these 3rd safeties and nickel corners too. And it was like, okay, now what's your answer, you know? But that's the whole issue with that. When you start bringing these different packages, you really tip your hand and you put a strain on everybody else that's around you.
I mean, we have talked about that too, potentially bringing Bell back. I mean, I'm all for it if we could bring Bell or Fournette and then we don't even have to worry about running back in the draft. So that's kind of my mindset. I mean, actually, I don't know how the hell we're gonna afford Bell's contract.
For me, I would say, man, bringing a guy like Shady, he's going to be super cheap. You like the
Shady then?
I just because he's super cheap, he's proven, and it's not going to have a power struggle with him and James Conner.
He's going to be back up.
He's not going to have an issue with that. He's already proven even last year when he went to the Chiefs. Remember they traded, I think. The Bills released him and the Chiefs picked him up like right before the season or whatever, and he didn't get the type of action he was getting in Buffalo. He was the guy. He was touching every time. And that was the plan for him even this year. And then they drafted Devin Singletary, a younger version of him, and that phased him out. But even when he was in Kansas City, showing up at practice, do what he needs to do, not dressing on game day. He didn't even dress in the Super Bowl. He did not complain. Got him a ring. He wasn't tripping. But for him, he still has two. He said he wants to play 2 to 3 more years. He said he has that in the tank. I feel like, man, you bring in a guy like that who's already played in Pitt. Think about that, man.
Double Pitt backfield.
Say. Because the thing is, you don't want to have any of those guys be your 30, 40 touch a game guy. So now you're splitting those touches up 3 ways between him, James Conner, and Benny Snell. That's how I look at it.
I love the idea of Fournette here, though.
I know.
I like your points you brought up, though. I like that.
If this is Madden, I would love it, too. I'm just saying, because then you don't have to worry about personalities and all that stuff. You just ball. But...
So what do we want to do, like our top like 2 or 3 maybe picks to be looking out for?
Yeah, so,
or guys outside of those.
I think I low key name my 3.
Oh, okay. All right. So obviously, I mentioned.
Are you a Jalen Hurts guy? Because we've seen the Steelers mock to him.
No.
You don't want to touch the quarterback. No. We already, but you already said that you would rather us lose than even have Jameis or Cam as a backup. You did say that.
We just discussed about the needs that we could use to win a championship next year. There's no reason to bring in a quarterback. We're trying to win.
Yeah. So if we're having a quarterback that came back from missing all of last season, and there's still a possibility that he could get hurt again this year.
I just don't see it happening.
You wouldn't want an insurance plan.
I'm banking on that.
You wouldn't want an insurance plan, though. Because
are we guaranteeing either of those? Who are we saying, Hurts or Love? Are we guaranteeing either of those 2 dudes are going to just be better than Mason and beat him out?
I mean, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sold on either of those guys.
Some people feel that Hurts could come in here and be a guy.
I've heard that too. I just want Ben to. We already know that.
And that's why I feel like your vision of quarterback is always clouded.
I don't want to waste my time trying to bring these guys in, develop them whenever we could bring in pieces right now and try to win right now.
But technically, everybody that we're naming is going to be a part of some type of rotation. It's not like we don't have a guy already in place there. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it is kind of Ben or die this year. It just kind of is.
I don't see why it has to be, though.
I mean, the other 2 quarterbacks you could bring in are obviously Winston or Cam.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked about how I don't want to have any of that controversy and drama. We can have the drama at the running back position, just not the quarterback.
That's the thing I just found funny with you, man. Like, you want to win in every position but QB.
I do want to win at QB, and I have faith because I have faith in our Hall of Fame quarterback.
But you don't even want to have insurance, though.
Mason
showed some flashes. Why have a Bugatti and not have insurance on it? That's all I'm asking.
Mason showed some flashes.
So you want to have the Bugatti. You already crashed it once, and now you don't want to get insurance on it again?
These reports I'm seeing, dude. I'm seeing revived Steve Smith. People are going to be shocked. This is going to be outstanding performance by Ben this year.
You heard the phrase, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear, right?
I don't know about that.
Oh, now you don't know about that. It's a reason why people say that, because it's tried and true. That's all I'm saying, man.
Wait, so you would want to draft a QB?
I'm not saying is this. I wouldn't have an issue with him picking a quarterback at 49.
I would have an issue.
Why?
I just would, man. I just think we could draft the running back or we could draft the linebacker.
What is the difference?
We have a chance to add some weapons to win now.
And when it's adding a backup quarterback that's quality help you win now, I know you feel like this is so far-fetched and out of this galaxy that this could happen, but say later in the year.
These dudes are rookies, though. These dudes are rookies. It's different than bringing in Cam or Jameis.
I'm just saying any of them. Why I don't understand why you look at that where it's like you can't touch that room. Why? Drafting a guy at 49, guy at 49 doesn't say that he's your day one starter anyways.
I just think Ben's got 3 or 4 left in the tank.
I understand you think that, and that's fine. But it's still okay to have insurance. What's wrong with insurance? Am I tripping here?
I'll roll with Mason.
Am I? Okay. You're not a Steelers fan, bro. You're a Ben fan. You're not a Steelers fan. That's fine.
I'm both.
No, you're not. It's fine.
Both.
It's fine. It's fine.
Both, dude.
It's fine. You're not.
Wait,
it's fine.
Outside of all this?
Yes.
We're talking about bringing in a quarterback. Are you even sold on Hurts or Love anyway, though? To where they could come in and
more Hurts than Love.
Okay, being the guy like.
What you mean?
If that scenario happened,
if I needed him for a couple of games, yeah, I think so.
Long term, who would you pick
between Hurts and Love?
Yeah.
I feel like it's still too early, but I would,
because obviously Love's considered
roll.
the project, right?
Well, the thing with Love is he can get crazy hot, but he also can get crazy reckless. But with Hurts, he's proven that he can ball out in any conference, SEC, Big 12, doesn't matter. Stage is never too big for him. He's going to produce.
He feels like a Russell Wilson coming in, huh?
You call him what you want to call it. He can ball.
Flying in under the radar, like just got the job done in college.
He's consistent. He wins. Takes care of the ball. He leads. I'm not opposed to that.
I mean,
I don't understand why other people are opposed to that. People love Russell Wilson. We'll compare Jalen to Russell Wilson. But then when we talk about Jalen, it's like, no, you can't bring him in here. I don't understand that. Why?
If it was in 3 more years, yes.
What's the difference, though?
Just because
I would much rather him be here for those 3 years of Ben being the guy still and him learning from that than you wait till Ben is past it all.
See,
now you bring in Jalen in there because you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
It's hard to separate, dude. Because I'm just taking it personal and I'm getting defensive. It's just
it's nothing
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you how it is, man. Because it's gonna be something similar with Hurts if we brought him in because he's a name. Bring him in, even Love, just because he's got the hype around him.
See, I think that's where we disagree.
You don't think there's gonna be people clamoring for QB controversy, get the kid in?
I personally don't see that.
If that's the case,
if Ben is playing bad to that level, well, then it doesn't matter who the quarterback behind him is. They're gonna have that conversation. If he goes out here and stinks it up the first 3 games, they go, hey man, you might want to roll back to Mason. Let's see, he looked good that Jets game.
No, come on.
You just said it though. So which one is it?
In terms,
no. So which one is it?
In terms of him being the backup,
which one is it?
I'll use that as my argument.
No, which one is it?
Not in terms of coming in and starting.
So then what's the point of having Mason on the team then?
Only if Ben gets hurt.
Said it. You just said, I'm comfortable with Mason.
Only if Ben gets hurt.
So which one is it then?
I would take Hurts or Love over Mason, bro. I will.
But when we just said that, you said, nah, I'd rather roll with Mason.
Just because.
So which one is it, man?
I just don't want any controversy. I don't want any controversy.
How's it controversy though?
I just don't.
How's that? How would that be controversy? That's what I don't understand.
I just think it would be, dude. I know the Steeler fans. I know
if Ben is playing bad to the point where it becomes a controversy, that's more on Ben than fans. Think about this. Just think about it. Seriously. It can't get to a controversy unless he's playing bad, correct?
There's that, but then there's also what you got to deal with in a year or two.
It only gets to that.
Favre Rodgers situation.
It only gets to that if Ben is playing bad. So if I see, this is why I say you're not a Steelers fan, you're a Ben fan. Because me as a Steelers fan, I'm still anticipating Ben playing well.
Same.
Which is why I don't think it's a threat. I don't even view it that way. I view it as, hey man, Ben has been hurt. Hey, Ben has missed games. Hey, Ben is coming off a major elbow surgery. Even if he's day 1 starter, I don't care. He's still coming off of a major injury. So I don't want to be sitting here, all my eggs in this basket. He gets hurt, and now I got all this talent around him, and it's stuck looking like how I looked last year where we were struggling at quarterback because he went down. Whether it's for 5 games, whether it's for 1 game, whether it's for 10 games. I want to feel comfortable when I lay my head down tonight that, hey, we good. We're good.
Logically, it makes all sense. It makes complete sense.
You're not a Steelers fan. You're a Ben fan. I got you, bro.
No way, dude.
I got you, bro.
Both. I'm both.
Hey, man, you're a Ben guy. I got you,
both,
man. I still have Fuego. I got you, bro.
I just believe in 7, dude. I think we could use the pieces for this year. And it's, as opposed to having a quarterback sit behind Ben. That's all. There's that. And like I said, I mean, there's
Ben over team. I got you, bro.
No, it's not like that.
It is like that, and it's fine.
It's not like that.
It is.
It's not. I just believe in Ben.
I'm not tripping. It's fine.
I just believe in Ben. I mean,
it's fine.
Could we be saying the same thing with like a Packers situation or
the Packers? I'm
trying to think who else. I mean, Rodgers is kind of like the last guy.
Yeah, but the Packers even talked about potentially drafting a guy.
I know. I think if I was a Packers fan, I'd feel the same way. I'd be like,
why?
nah, don't draft a guy. We got Rodgers for 3-4 more years. Bro, maybe even longer. He's talking about going until 40.
This is the thing, though. You want to have a guy. You want to have somebody to make you feel comfortable that, hey, we know guys get hurt. We see it every year. Quarterbacks, no matter how many rules you put in place for them, it's the reason why they keep adding these rules, because they keep going down. It's like, hey, man, first was you can't do this. All right, now you can't do that. Hey, hold on, you can't do this either. They add these different rules each year. You notice that because these guys still go down. So it's not far-fetched to believe that, hey, I probably should have one of these young guys that they're not going to cut. It's not like they're eating up cap money. They're cheap. Rookie deal. Low risk, super low risk. And hey, in the hopefully highly unlikelihood that one of my guys go down, this guy can come in here and we're still going to be good for a game or two. And worst case, if 3 years he's produced and he's ready to be the guy, but I'm still comfortable with my guy, I could trade him away and get some other picks. Jimmy Garoppolo. We've seen it. What's wrong with that? I don't understand.
There's nothing wrong with it. There is nothing wrong with it. You're just talking to the wrong guy.
I feel like this is the thing. I feel like you're insecure when it comes to... No, seriously, hear me out. I feel like...
Is this a deep thing right here? Is this
No, I just feel like sometimes like people get insecure in terms of I believe it. I want it to happen so bad. But at the same time, I know it is a possibility. I have that just a little bit of doubt in my mind. And that's why you keep going back to, I don't want to hear people saying that. I don't want to hear people saying that. I don't want to see that. Because in your mind, your mouth says, oh man, Ben's good, confident, 100%. I'm reading the reports. Everything is fine. I'm not tripping. But in your mind, you're like, but what if it's not? And that makes you uncomfortable. And for me, I'm like, bro, I don't feel that way. I feel like, yo, he's going to be fine. And even if he were to go down at any point for whatever it may be, at least I got somebody that's going to come in and keep the ball rolling. We can win this chip.
Wow.
That's just how I feel about it.
You're digging deep into my psychology.
I just feel like I'm trying to get to 7 by any means necessary. I feel like you're only trying to get there if it includes 7. And I think that's where we differ.
I'm not opposed to...
Now, 7 has to be the guy for us to get there, without a doubt. But I think about the Carson Wentz situation and Nick Foles situation.
You're saying if he goes down for 3 or 4 games or something?
I need a guy that can come in the ball. I think about Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Brees this past season.
So you'd prefer Hurts or Love over Mason then?
I personally would right now.
At least taking the shot.
I would right now, just because even though...
What about the risk reward of just taking them at 2nd or 3rd round versus taking one of those guys? Like an outside linebacker, running back. Considering all of this, them versus Mason and the risk reward of taking a quarterback versus outside linebacker, running back, inside linebacker.
Well, I say to myself this, man, running backs, even if I don't get this guy at 49, I can get another running back in the 4th round, 5th round. We know that. We talk, running backs growing trees. They're growing trees. We can find one. I'm not worried about that. I already have my 2 stud linebackers. We already know we're going to get a deal done with one. And we hope that we can get it done with the next guy. But if we can't, I can always address that in the draft that following year.
Next year.
We know with the quarterback room, some drafts they look really good. Some drafts we talk these guys up to make them better than what they really are. We've seen that as well. We even talked about the draft class rankings. I'm just saying, in some years, guys will hype up a quarterback class, and then we look and we're like, they ain't like that.
Yeah.
We've seen that. That's all I'm saying. In recent years, we've seen that. So for me, if I know, okay, this is a guy that we've seen play and produce in multiple systems versus multiple talents, you know what I mean? SEC talent, Big 12 talent. We've seen that. I feel a lot more comfortable with that. Whereas we saw what Mason had his opportunity in an extended role, it wasn't up to par. It wasn't what we all thought it should be. So worst case scenario, we bring Jalen in and Mason raises his game up and beats him out. Okay, good. He rose his game up. But if not, we know Jalen. We know he could produce. So it's only going to make that room better. It's only going to make those players better. And if Ben is feeling uncomfortable, it's only going to push Ben to prove to everybody out there that, hey, you wasted your pick. Which I always tell you, my mindset, anytime you pick a guy in my position, I'm going to show you that you wasted your pick. I'm going to show you should have picked somewhere else. This is a waste of time. But it's going to elevate my play, though.
I like that mindset.
But you don't have that mindset, though. You're uncomfortable with that.
I mean, if that's
you are super uncomfortable with that.
If that's the mindset of
you
like,
are
hey, we're gonna pick this guy and Ben's gonna go off. I mean,
but you don't believe that. You doubt it, which is crazy because you talk.
I don't doubt it.
You love Ben, but you doubt him.
No, I think he's gonna ball out this year.
But that's a subtle doubt that you have, though. It is because you say it multiple times. Man, I don't want to bring Jameson because the conflict, bro. What all it's gonna be as soon as Ben has one bad game. I don't ever anticipate Ben having a bad game. So when I think of us bringing these guys in, it's strictly on the basis of Ben does get hurt. Even in a healthy season, Ben gets hurt. Ben misses time.
I think I'm more or less thinking about, like I mentioned with the whole Favre Rodgers thing, like a year or two in the wings, I guess, of what the conversations and stuff will be.
What did that last year of Brett Favre in Green Bay look like?
Dude, he ended up balling out for the Vikings, and he was balling out for the Jets
not
too.
Balling out with the Vikings and the Jets. I said his last year in Green Bay before they made the switch.
I honestly can't remember. Didn't they lose in the NFC Championship game?
No, I don't remember that, bro.
I think that's what it was.
I don't remember that.
I mean, he did throw a pick, I think, at the end.
I don't remember. All I'm saying is it wasn't so far-fetched at the time when they made the switch.
Oh, I think Green Bay fans were furious.
Green Bay fans didn't like the fact that they were bringing in Aaron Rodgers, the new guy.
Yeah, they didn't believe in Rodgers.
Right, and that was the big thing around them. But organization-wise, they knew what they had. I don't think it was a bad move.
Obviously not, but what can you do? I mean, there's no guarantees with that. They got lucky there.
Wow.
What?
Nah, they got lucky. You're funny, bro. So yeah, man, that's why I feel what I feel about, that 49th pick, potentially bringing in a guy like, it wouldn't matter if it was a quarterback. I wouldn't be opposed to it, just because when we're talking about the backup plan, we're talking about having a little bit of depth. That was my whole thought process with it. But I'm good either or, man.
I forgot to do my sleeper picks.
Yeah, man.
You threw me off.
Jalen Hurts got you all. He was all out of whack over here, bro.
All right, so my sleeper picks. I know we need linebacker, but I was trying to go through the linebackers. I just don't feel like a linebacker expert. Obviously, you are, so I'm gonna go with your pick of the Florida outside linebacker. Keep an eye out.
I think it's Grenard. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, keep an eye out for him in the later rounds. Then, so I'll defer to you there. So I just went and looked at receivers. So,
wait, you can't go wrong with that either.
So here's my receivers, just to look out for here.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna get either one of these two, Rieger and Pittman.
Okay.
I watched the highlights. Yeah. They have, and here's the thing: Pittman has obviously got the production.
Yes.
But Rieger's production is low, and that's what was confusing to me. But apparently, TCU's quarterback and just their passing game was pretty garbage. But like, if you watch some of his plays, he sticks out, man. He makes some big time plays.
The thing is, they got some dogs in this receiving class. Like, I'm looking through it. I was like, yo, that guy nice too. I like the kid from, I think it's Arizona State, Brandon. I don't even know.
He's got a weird last name.
Yeah, but he's a guy that I'm like, he could potentially be around in that second round as well. Like, I think he's a guy that could come in and produce. The thing I think that makes the Steelers in such a good spot right now, they don't
Someone's going to fall.
Right. You're going to have somebody talented sitting at 49. And regardless of their position, you don't have to say, well, we need this guy at this position right now. You don't have to do any of that. And I think that's a good position to be in.
Now, I said sleeper picks, and that was probably misconstrued just because those two,
they're not sleepers. But all right.
They're not sleepers at all.
Hey, man.
People to look out for. I would say these next two, though, maybe kind of sleepers. KJ Hamler from Penn State.
I like him a lot. And actually, man, speaking of Penn State, we got a Penn State guest coming on the show. Saeed Blacknall just recently signed with the Steelers out of the XFL. So shout out to the Penn State guys right now.
Dope interview with him.
Yes.
And then
KJ, man, he was balling out this year.
I mean, am I too far off saying potentially Tyreek Hill like 2.0 with him, maybe?
That's a lot.
Hey, you gotta reach for something, and that's what I'm saying. If we
wait a minute, so you'll crown KJ Hamlin as Tyreek Hill 2.0, but
if we draft him.
But if we say Jalen Hurts,
I said
Russell Wilson 2.0. You don't want that.
I said that. No, I said.
But you
Russell
don't like
Wilson.
that though.
No, I said Russell.
But you wouldn't like that though.
In 2 or 3 years, I'm all for it. I told you that.
You are funny.
I think
Deke
Russell
likes
Wilson's
the Pittsburgh Ben Roethlisbergers.
And then my next one was Mims out of Baylor.
Okay.
Now, with him, from what I was watching and some of the comments I was reading, that he doesn't get too much separation.
Yeah.
But he's got speed. He's got the athleticism, which is weird. So a good comparison was Des Bryant with him. Ben could use a guy that, just kind of streaks up the middle, streaks up the side, just tosses it up there. You know that's the type of receiver I want. So he could work on the separation. He's definitely got the athleticism, definitely got the height. And I mean, some of the plays he was making in Baylor were crazy. So I think he's like third or fourth round. I could be wrong on that. So him and Hamler are my sleepers.
Okay.
Other receivers to watch.
The Hamlin pick though.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
He could ball.
Even though I do want a tall receiver, I couldn't deny what I was seeing on the tape with Hamler.
Tall receivers. I think about the money. Oh man, jeez.
What, money?
No. With Emmanuel Sanders, AB, and Mike Watson.
Young Money.
Yeah. I was like, what did they call him? Yeah. They were all little, and they could all go.
They could.
I love little guys that could just go. Ball.
That's why I said Tyreek Hill with this guy.
I don't even care about that size. And this is why. Because I was an undersized guy. So I hate when they're like, well, you need a bigger guy here. You got to fit this. He's not tall enough. I don't care about none of that. Give me productivity over analytics any day, man.
Well, you know what I was trying to find was the closest thing to Martavis Bryant in these receivers, and I couldn't find it. I just
Because Martavis is a one-on-one, bro. Well, actually, he's not a one-on-one. Martavis was freaky. But Martavis is kind of in that Calvin Johnson type vein. Big, athletic, just fast guys. So, yeah.
They were saying the dude from Texas, I forget what his last, I think Coleman's his last name. They were saying, he's 6'5", 6'6", and his hands are a little questionable like Martavis was at times.
Oh, man, don't give my dog that shot like that, man.
Dude, I'm a big Martavis fan. No.
Why you got to throw it in there? Why you got to throw it in there?
Just because I'm saying,
like Martavis, bro, don't do that.
I'm looking for comparisons, and here's the thing: he's still nowhere close to comparable to Martavis because he doesn't have the speed or just big playmaking ability like Martavis did. That's what I saw when I was watching the highlights, and there were other receivers. I was trying to find that mold. I couldn't. So that's when I had to look at Hamler. I'm like, all right, this guy's not 6 and above. What's the deal with him?
And
I was like, you know what,
little man that can get after it, bro.
He deserves a spot on my sleeper list.
Now, speaking of little guys,
okay,
in the quarterback room, right? We got Joe Burrow. He's the prototypical guy. I mean, he looks perfect. Tua a little more.
I'm hearing the opposite, man.
Yeah.
I'm hearing Tua is like the best prospect ever.
No. I'm saying just when we're looking at them, the analytical side, like Joe Burrow, he fits the mold of, he's the right height, all that. Yeah. Tua's a little, just compact him a little bit. That's what I'm
like,
saying.
Yeah, he's like 6'1",
yeah.
6 foot.
That's what I'm saying, man. I like little guys that can ball.
Okay, so we want to debate these guys here?
Who do you think is better? Who's going to have
Who's better? Who's going to have
better career? What you think?
I mean, it's Burrow. It's definitely Burrow.
Burrow doesn't have the better what?
Just career. I think he's the better player. What's going on here? You know what I'm gonna say here too. Ed Factor.
Oh God.
He's got it, man. He just does.
Can we just go one?
He's got the moxie.
Hold on. Can we go one? Just one episode where you don't say that the outlandish.
Outlandish. He's gonna go number one.
Joe Burrow is gonna have a better career than Tua.
He will. Yeah.
And why is that?
I just don't see it with Tua, man.
I'm just asking why.
I just don't see it.
What don't you see?
The problem is he's going to be drafted to the Bengals. That is a problem.
So help me. What don't you see? Because I see a great situation for Tua the further he slides.
I mean, this is what we're talking about then. Just like, are they putting better scenarios? What if Burrow,
that does matter a lot.
What if Burrow turns it around? I just think Burrow's a better player, so I think Burrow's gonna figure it out.
I think Burrow was a part of one of the greatest offenses.
There's that too. I mean, you could say that. I mean,
the numbers speak for themselves.
You could definitely say that with Tua though too.
Across the board? No, not across the board.
Look at his receiver. Two of those receivers.
Joe Burrow.
What?
Joe Burrow didn't have dogs at receiver?
I agree, man.
Along with probably the best running back he was one of the best running backs in the league. If he was, I'm tripping. Not the running back because the Clyde Edwards guy.
Yeah.
He's still a 1,000-yard rusher. What are we talking about here, bro?
I mean, Burrow threw for over 60 touchdowns.
You saw he was throwing the ball too.
I know they both had awesome offenses. I just think Burrow's got it, man. I just think he's got it. What is your reasoning for Tua? Let's say outside of the teams, then, as just in terms of prospects.
I feel like
because that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Tua is a way more polished prospect.
He is.
He can throw the ball better.
Tua checks,
I just don't see it though.
Tua checks all the boxes. The only thing that you have concerns about right now, you could say the hip injury,
right?
But the same way we talk about Ben and say that, hey man, we're not worried about that.
I'm not worried
healthy.
about the hip.
I'm not worried about Tua's hip either. I don't really want to hear the injury stats. Some people try to say to knock him, but he can make all the throws. He's a great leader. He's shown that he could be a team player. I mean, even with that whole situation with him and Jalen Hurts and how that dynamic played itself out, he never had an issue with it or never publicly displayed any issue.
You could say
with
the same thing for Hurts.
Absolutely, and that's why I love that.
He was probably in an even tougher spot. Hurts,
and that's why I love that. But then when I also think of Tua, I'm saying to myself, man, the only knock I have on him when I watched him at Alabama was it looked like the game was coming so easy to him that he would get lazy at times.
He was so good.
Like seriously, like you were watching, you're just like, bro, because you know you could make ridiculous things happen. You're not even like, I know I should probably throw this 20-yard out, but no, I want to throw this bomb in between 3 defenders just because. And like, that's the type of stuff that makes me concerned. But I think that was solely based on him just feeling like, yo, I've accomplished so much already at this level. I need to get bumped up to the new challenges of the NFL. Whereas Joe Burrow, it was the opposite. He got hot this year. So you could throw him in the one-hit wonder category. Let's be real about that.
Yeah, he had to grind though, man.
I understand he had to grind, but
mental toughness.
But this is what I'm saying, right? We've seen what Joe Burrow looked like when he didn't have a crazy amount of weapons around him.
Yeah, I don't think anyone even talks about his junior year, right?
Exactly. So for me, you're going into a Cincinnati. So this is my thing, right? And this is the argument I'm trying to make right here. When I see you with less talent, when you're not with the super stacked offense, who were you? I've seen you when you got the full house, when you got the full deck of cards. Oh yeah, you look great. But at the NFL level, with the Cincinnati Bengals, are you going to have the full stack, the full deck? No. At the NFL level, how often? No, just hear me out.
His weapons are actually going to be kind of decent.
Just hear me though. Just hear me. In the NFL, do you ever see teams that are drastically stacked, like his LSU team was, versus teams that have no talent? At the NFL, the talent we talk about all the time, the NFL talent gap is so close that you're never going to just walk out there with a crazy deck. And that's what I'm saying for Joe. We've seen Joe with the crazy deck. He looked elite. Without the crazy deck, we didn't even talk about him. If I asked you who Joe Burrow was a year ago, you'd have said, who?
Tua had a crazy deck, though, too.
But what I'm saying is this. Tua has played against teams where he wasn't the most talented team out there. We saw when he played Clemson. They didn't always had the most talented team versus Clemson. Those Georgia teams, they ain't always had the most crazy talented teams.
His receivers are going to go top 10, 15. No,
listen, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, when LSU stepped on the field this year, it was clear cut. They had the most dogs. When we talk about, okay.
Dude, Burrow may play. I mean, we can't take everything away from Burrow,
I'm
though.
not saying that. All I'm simply saying is, you saw Burrow without that.
You're probably saying it's weird because with Tua, everyone's saying that he's more unknown right now because of the injury and all that type of stuff. But you're probably saying Burrow's more unknown.
Yeah, it's easy to hop on the 1-year train, whereas we saw Tua. We've been on the Tua train for multiple years now. You just got on the Joe Burrow train.
Well, yeah, Tua was considered, and that's my thing. I think I'm more in. I don't know actually how I feel. Just in terms of raw prospects, a lot of people are saying Tua's just a way better prospect than Burrow. But Burrow's going to go number 1.
Yes, because the injury that happened to Tua. If Tua doesn't get injured this year, I think it's a different conversation. I do. I think, man, it's not a clear-cut Joe Burrow's number 1, because even this season, it still wasn't completely sold that Joe Burrow was going to be the number 1 guy. They were even talking about Chase Young potentially going number 1.
Beat him out.
He didn't beat him out. Chase got suspended, and then those last 2-3 games, it just didn't happen like that. He didn't produce like that. But I can tell you as a player, your rhythm gets thrown off. We even talked about when you come from a bye week and all that stuff. All that factors into it.
Yeah, man. I think I'm just going off this 1 year. That's really it, man. And you're thinking
and
that's
dangerous, man. For me,
I hear his interviews. He's got the moxie. He's smoking the cigars. That's what I'm feeling good about. That Jordan smokes cigars, so hey.
Oh gosh. J.R. Smith smokes cigars too.
Champion. He is. So I'm taking Burrow based off just kind of a feel thing. Just that. I think this guy can get it done. He's going to figure out a way. Tua.
So has Tua never found a way?
He definitely has.
So does Tua not give good interviews?
I'm not really opposed.
Does Tua not smoke cigars?
Tua's a nice kid, man. Like I listen.
I'm listening to everything you just said about Joe. Like Tua doesn't do that. Tua doesn't win championships. Tua doesn't smoke cigars. He ain't won championships.
I don't think he smokes cigars.
What? Because it wasn't a pitcher?
Huh?
It wasn't a pitcher, so he doesn't smoke it?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not. Just based off his interviews and stuff, it doesn't seem like he's that guy. I don't know.
What?
He's clean living. That's what it seems like to me. I don't know. I'm making extreme judgments here.
Holy cow! All right.
So he's a great franchise quarterback. It seems like he's gonna be on a nice path.
But you said you don't want those guys. Remember?
What do you mean?
I mean, no.
For a quarterback, you don't want.
But you said Joe isn't like that. So
I don't see any controversy with him.
Whoa!
He does talk a little
bit. Wow! You told me that you want a guy that's going at the quarterback position. If I'm the GM at the quarterback position, I want my guy to just, hey, don't say this, don't sell that, don't do that.
Here's the
just
thing.
Like this.
Burrow's better. Are we talking
Joe?
Baker? Are we talking
No.
Baker here? Because Burrow's just better than Baker. Come on.
Both of them were Heisman Trophy winners. Both of them were elite.
Here's what I'm going to say. No. Here's what I'm going to say.
Okay, let's hear it.
Burrow has backed it up to this point. Now
Baker up to that point in college, Baker had backed it up as well.
Now is a good time to start being humble for Burrow. Now, as Peyton Manning even told him, he said, listen, it might not go the way you want it to.
Peyton told him also break my record in interceptions too as a rookie.
Yeah, that's just kind of like get all the bad stuff out of the way, but stay humble. You got to stay humble at the same time.
Go out there and ball, bro.
Dude, if he starts talking smack on the Steelers in the AFC North and like Lamar Jackson and stuff, then it's definitely a problem. I'm going to completely change my tune here.
It's too late, man. You're putting it down right now. Who the better career is going to be? Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa.
That's the beauty of life that I could change.
Nah, man, that's the beauty of it being documented. You can't change because I'm going to run this back.
I could change my pick. Yeah, I'll go with Burrow. What the hell?
Now it's bro, you said it. You started out with Joe. Don't say I'm just gonna go, Joe. You were confident about Joe. That's who you dropped down like, yo.
But I could say, but here's the thing: all that stuff with Burrow, overconfidence, and flailing around the NFL and not living up to the hype. I mean, I could say this. Anyone could say the same thing about Tua. Hip injury, maybe he just doesn't pan out.
The biggest thing with Tua is
just in general,
because from a prospect standpoint, he checks every box.
Here's the thing: any of these quarterbacks that are taken early, I mean, if you look at the list, I was looking at something a few weeks ago, I mean, quarterbacks panning out and being stars like that are drafted early, it's not like as common as you would think.
Well, it's tough.
It is.
But we say that all the time. It's not easy to do. And even if you do it for 1 year, year 1 to 5, a lot can go on, the different ups and downs with that. But I'm banking on the fact that Tua, if he doesn't go to the Dolphins at 5, he could go to the Chargers at 6. And that's an even better situation for him. So for me, I'm hoping that Justin Herbert is taken by the Dolphins. And then Tua gets to fall to the Chargers at 6. Because then I'm like, this is a perfect situation for him. A lot more stable situation, offense and defense, a lot more weapons. And you don't have to feel the pressure of coming in and being the guy day one because you have Tyrod Taylor that's already out there ready to go.
True. I saw a report today by Peter King. He's got a mock draft. You know how we all mock draft.
Man, you like Peter? I didn't even think you was a Peter King guy.
No, I saw the headline. I saw the headline on Google.
Oh, I was say, wait a minute.
Dude, all you need is headlines. You just see a headline and you're just like, all right, what can we talk about this? And I think he said he has the Patriots trading up for Tua here.
Yeah.
So
hey, I would love it.
That's an opinion. That's a take. Like I said, everyone's got mock drafts.
Would you love it?
I'm just throwing it out there.
Would you be happy?
Would I love that? I would feel like the Patriots got something up their sleeve, so I wouldn't like that. I would not like that.
Why? Who do you think would have the better career then?
Huh? I just think Burrow's a better player. The better career, that's a different question, kind of.
That's what we're saying. Who's going to have the better career?
We should discuss this after they're drafted then. We should just be talking about who's, because
we're saying right now,
the Bengals could trade out of that pick. The Bengals could trade.
We're just saying who's going to have the better career. I think Tua is.
I'm saying Burrow. Let's see who gets picked where. Just based off of I think he's the better player.
But you know what? Joe could come in and become like the next Peyton Manning, right?
He could.
For the Bengals and trash the Steelers, the Bengals, and the
I don't want to hear
Browns twice a year. Would you want that?
It could be the Browns and the Ravens.
I wouldn't want that. I hope Tua comes in here and just stinks.
Tua?
Not Tua. I hope Joe Burrow comes in and just stinks.
I hope that too, but I know what I saw at LSU. I got to call it like I see it.
Hey man, LSU and Cincinnati drastically different, buddy.
Yeah, he's gonna have some weapons though.
It's drastically different. That's all I'm saying, man.
Carson Palmer's talked about it. Other players have talked about it. It's a bad organization, so we'll see. Can we switch this to career thing? Maybe we'll talk about that in a week or two.
You want to talk?
I think Burrow's a better player, man.
I don't.
Dude, 60 touchdowns, Heisman. I mean, He balled out.
Johnny Manziel got a Heisman and was freaky too.
Yeah, but Burrow's better. He's just better than Manziel. That might have been the best college season of all time.
We agree. And that's the only thing that people say when they talk Joe Burrow in terms of why they think he could have the better career of anybody, right? Well, he had the best college season of all time, the 60 touchdowns. That's it. They don't talk about everything else because he was stacked. It's kind of like when we talk about Tim Tebow. They say Tim Tebow was arguably one of the best college quarterbacks ever. Ever. And
you could tell he wasn't the quarterback. He wasn't like that.
So why did he go in the first round into the to the Broncos?
I mean,
he won a playoff game in the NFL.
They got Deke as their manager.
He won a playoff game in the NFL.
The NFL has Deke.
He won a playoff game in the NFL.
Come on, dude. I wasn't. You had to repeat that 3 times, huh? 4 times maybe.
You was ignoring me. I ain't like that.
So I was trying to get my Tebow take.
I'm just saying, bro. Tebow. They said Tebow legit can make an argument for being the best college quarterback all time.
Definitely. Yeah.
So for me, when you talk about Joe Burrow having the best college season of all time, it doesn't hold weight with me, bro. I do not care. I don't care.
He can sling it way better than Tebow.
He had the best. He had 60 touchdowns. Okay, did you see what Tebow did in college? How'd that play on the NFL? It's different.
Their style of quarterback play is way different, though. Burrow's, it looks like it's going to translate. But that's what I'm saying. A lot of people are saying he's only like a B+ prospect.
Yes, they say his pro. You know what they compare him to as a pro? Andy Dalton.
I've heard Romo, but
Romo high end, but more than likely they say Andy Dalton.
So I'm confused by all this. Then what
are you confused by? You're enamored with the stats.
Why is he going number 1 then?
I just told you because Tua got hurt. Chase Young fizzled out the last 3 games. It was supposed to be Chase Young. Chase Young was the guy. Then when he got suspended, remember they suspended him for, I think he got the tickets or paid for his girlfriend to come to one of their BCS championship games. He ended up getting a 1-game suspension for that. Then he came back in the last 2 or 3 games. He really didn't have like crazy numbers like that. So that's what ultimately pushed him out of that 1 spot. When Tua got hurt and the whole thing was, okay, remember he came back and was like, what's going on with the hip? Then that made people say, well, I got back off of that. And then Joe went and they said, oh, he's winning the big time games.
Yep.
That was huge. Then you saw him in the playoffs. Oh, man, he's still winning those games. That was huge.
Yep.
And from there, they were just like, well, he is healthy. He put up a crazy number from a statistical standpoint. And that's why they say we'll roll with him. But when you evaluate him, they say he's pretty much like Andy Dalton. He could be Tony Romo.
Man,
that's that.
I'm just confused by all this.
Because numbers aren't everything. I tell you that all the time. You're a numbers guy, though. You're quick to talk numbers.
So, I'm not. And
you brought it up multiple times in this conversation right here. You said it multiple times. Man,
only when they back me.
Dude, you see he had the best college season ever. And I'm like, they said the same thing about Baker when he was coming out winning the Heisman. They said the same thing about Johnny Manziel when he won the Heisman. They said the same thing about Tim Tebow, arguably the greatest college quarterback ever. But what I'm telling you is college to NFL is different. And when you're playing on teams that are crazy stacked like how his was, you can if you are a good quarterback and you have a overly stacked team like how he had at LSU, you're going to put up those gaudy type numbers. But what I'm telling you is this, if he's as elite as you say he is, where was that the year prior? And that's the issue.
You got to develop.
That's the issue. You say you got to develop. You see, you're hearing yourself though,
I'm hearing myself,
and that's why they're like, yeah, he's gonna go number 1.
Beat out Trevor Lawrence in the championship.
But it's more so by default that you're going D1. I mean that you're going 1 overall, not that hey you were drastically better than Chase Young and drastically better than Tua Tagovailoa. Because let's be real, if Joe Burrow missed this much time, was coming off a hip injury, you think he'd be talked about as could potentially go in the 5th or 6th pick? No, if it was Justin Herbert, he missed that much time coming off a hip injury. Major hip injury. You think they'd be saying, hey, may he still go first round top 5? No.
Some of these organizations.
But Tua is so nice. That's why.
Some of these organizations literally have me as their GMs. Seriously. I mean, that's probably
I'm not even going to disagree with you on that, bro.
I mean, you got the Browns and the Bengals then. Yeah. And I'm taking Burrow.
The Browns, they were alternating coaches, man. It was like, them
taking Manziel. Yeah. I would have taken Manziel too. I would take Burrow here in the top pick. But that's what's so confusing to me as to, I mean, why aren't they trading out of it? Why is it so gung-ho that it's happening? This is my thing. I'm so confused. If you're telling me all this,
this is the thing,
and this is actually probably more or less common knowledge because I even brought some of this stuff up.
This is the issue when you talk about them trading out of that 1 spot. This is the issue you run into. First off, what are you getting in return for that 1 spot? Okay, that's the first thing.
But if you could take Tua where he's...
just hear me out.
You're saying he's the better prospect.
But this is what I'm saying. So if you're Cincinnati and you have to talk about what happened, right? If things go bad, it's easier to explain you taking a chance on Joe Burrow, who's healthy coming off the greatest college season, than it is, hey, I took a chance on the guy who's coming off a dislocated hip. You see what I mean?
But this goes back to what we've talked about before. It's like, seriously, I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to cover my ass.
That's what these guys do. But we say this was my biggest argument when I got to the NFL. And when I lasted for 9 years, that was my biggest argument. I would talk to the scouts multiple times and ask them, hey, why would you take a chance on a guy from a Big Ten school that had half the productivity of a guy that went to a smaller school who might have had 15 sacks there?
And they say, and the tape looks good, and all the credentials.
And what they say is this. They say this. I can justify myself going to Michigan and having a bad prospect because he went to Michigan. He played versus these guys. I can say, hey, that was the whole reason why we took the chance on him. How am I going to justify me taking a chance on a guy from a 1AA or from a MAC school that doesn't come here and pan out? They're going to say, why were you even looking at him? And for those guys, they know that's the difference between them having a job and not. So they err on the side of, if it goes bad, I can explain this. And that's the whole purpose of it. So that's why when we talk about these prospects, and I'm telling you, man, Tua is the better prospect. You can justify going Joe Burrow if it doesn't pan out. You can't justify going Tua if it doesn't pan out if he comes off that hip and he's not back. Even though, like you said, right, at least he's put out video of him doing workouts. So I do feel a little bit more confident in terms of him being healed up because of some of the videos.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
But it's like, if he wasn't medically right, if something wasn't good, and he's already said it himself, man, I probably would. He said, I would prefer to be able to come in and sit the first year so I could get all the way right. But if I needed to go, I could go. You can't justify him coming in there, him getting hurt, and it messes up his whole career. Think of RG3 type. You can't justify that because he already was hurt.
Yeah, Burrow's ready to go right now.
And you can justify if he comes in and wash out. Hey, man, you know.
Ohio kid.
You know what they say? His girlfriend's from Cincinnati. Like, his family's there. I mean, this is a great guy.
Ohio State redemption story.
See? So it's so many ways that they can justify that pick going wrong. Whereas teams aren't going to take chances on guys that they can't justify. They're not willing to stick their neck out. We always say, if you don't go to one of these Power 5 schools, and you have to be just crazy on tape. Like, you have to look at the tape and say, oh, he doesn't belong out there. Like, it looks like a grown man playing against kids for them to take that chance on him. Otherwise, they're like, no, I'm not risking that. Because for them, they can get fired behind that.
Dude, is it the left-handed throwing motion that's throwing me off too? Because everyone's telling me, his fundamentals and his, I guess, what would you call it? How he's a technician with throwing the ball. Like, it's crazy. Like,
his mechanics, everything checks the box. It's not like the Tebow where it was like
no, it definitely
isn't. Like, it's fluid, it's smooth, pop on it, like accurate. That's what I'm saying. He can make every throw. And
is he a breeze? Is that what pissed me off? Is just that he's not making the big throws and the flashy plays. And
no, see, I don't think that's Drew Brees, because Drew Brees, he can make that if he wanted to. We've seen that. I think he's more Russell, though. Okay. He's more Russell in terms of, if Russell needs to light you up, now Russell can light you up now with his arm. Beforehand, it was like, hey, we're going to protect him, play action.
He doesn't have the arm ability just yet to be making those crazy throws on the sidelines and stuff.
With Tua, though, Tua can sling that thing.
No, that's what you're saying that about Burrow.
Yeah. So with Burrow can still make throws, yes, but we've seen Dalton's arm. Dalton is not the same caliber arm talent of a Russell, of a Drew Brees, of a Big Ben, of a Brady.
So this is Burrow you're talking about here.
Yes, he's not.
I'm missing this
level. No, because everybody says what? The same thing you just said earlier in the argument. Man, he had 60 touchdowns. You saw that. But when you watch the tape, you look at these touchdowns, his guys are 5 yards away. He's not dicing you up, making all these cut. He's not doing that. Dude, man, I'm hitting you right here and you take off.
I don't know.
It's different, man. That's all I'm saying.
I probably watched like 3 college games all year. So I saw highlights and I saw
Joe. I think Joe can be a good quarterback. And let's be real, Andy Dalton. People want to knock Andy Dalton. Dalton.
No, he's bad. If it's Tony Romo, then yeah. If he's Romo, then yeah, that's good for him.
So Andy Dalton hasn't had a successful career.
Yeah, he's made some money, but
Andy Dalton hasn't won games.
no, not in the playoffs.
The Bengals haven't won playoff games. But has he led his team to the playoffs multiple times? Has he won the AFC North with your boy Ben Roethlisberger multiple times? Yes.
Yeah, it's happened, but that's why you need the Burrow mentality to get you over the hump of the playoffs.
All I'm saying is this. Don't hate on Andy Dalton. That's all I'm saying. Because his career has been successful.
You would take him like number 1 overall pick, like knowing everything that played out.
What you mean?
With Dalton's career, you would take him number 1 overall.
Yes.
Man.
What has Dalton done to if Dalton's your quarterback, you're in the mix every year to make it to the playoffs. Which he's shown in Cincinnati when they're healthy every year. Even when we were healthy, they beat us.
Oh, man. I think that Cincinnati team for that stretch was pretty talented. And he was just it was. Those teams were pretty talented for a stretch of time.
Okay. All right.
Were they not?
All right.
Were they not? You would agree or not?
I feel like you're just hating on him because he's with the Cincinnati Bengals. And it's the low-hanging fruit. It's the low-hanging fruit. It's easy to say, oh, man, Andy Dalton sucks. It's like, look at his career. Look at his numbers. He does not suck.
It is easy
don't
to
hate.
say, and I'm going to say it.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm going to say
But for me, I don't go that route because it's not real. When you break it down and you look at it, it's not real.
Somewhat, man. I mean, no playoff wins.
It's a lot of people that don't have playoff wins.
Underachieving. I think we would say that those teams have.
You could say underachieve, but you can't say he sucks.
I just wouldn't take him, like knowing that's how his career is going to play out. I wouldn't take him number 1. Okay. But you're telling me Burrow is Dalton, and I mean, I don't know.
I mean, and let's be real. People only praise Romo now. Romo is more of a legend now than when he was playing. Let's be real about it. Nobody don't act like Romo was nice when he was playing. I thought he was good.
He was.
Dalton was good too. If Dalton got on TV, no one started talking like that. Then all of a sudden, the mystique around Dalton raises the same way the mystique around Romo's career raises all of a sudden. He gets on TV and starts talking. Now they're like, yo, Romo was good. Actually, look at Romo's numbers. He was all right.
I've always said Romo was underrated.
Cut it out, bro.
I have, man. We're in the same boat. We both said that. We've both said that.
Why are you hating on Dalton?
I just don't think he's good.
You said he sucked.
Yeah.
So if he sucks, what was Mason then?
I mean, it was bad.
No. If Dalton sucks, what does that make Mason? What does that make Duck?
I mean, they're part of the team. They're part of the family.
Oh, okay. Stop it there. Exactly what I thought.
We could just say
exactly
worse.
What I thought.
We could say worse than that.
Exactly what I thought, man. I don't want to hear it, bro. You talking nonsense, man.
We could say
you talking nonsense.
We could say it was worse than that. I just don't want to speak like that.
If Dalton sucks, I need to hear it from you then. Please help me understand.
They sucked, man.
No, they got to be trash because Dalton's a 3-time Pro Bowler. So they got to be absolute trash.
He didn't deserve any of those Pro Bowls.
Okay.
Those were like 3 or 4 reserves.
Hey, QB record, right? You care about the wins. 70 wins, 61 losses, 2 ties. And they
underachieved.
Oh, no, come on, man. You keep making excuses. 31,000, over 31,000 passing yards. How many touchdowns? 204 touchdowns?
Where's this playoff win?
We already said that. We already said Cincinnati has not won.
I'm not seeing anything.
How many times
clutch.
He's been to the playoffs? How about that?
I'm not seeing clutch. I'm not seeing.
How many times he's been to the playoffs?
I'm not seeing.
Why are you
him
hating
being
on
able
Dalton?
to get it done? I'm just.
You're
not
a hater.
Seeing,
You're a hater, bro.
A QB is a leader.
You're a hater.
A QB gets it done.
Hater.
He just doesn't get it done.
You are a hater.
I'm just being real with you.
You're a hater.
I think a lot of people agree with me.
You're a hater. Period. You're a hater, bro.
No way. I'm telling it how it is.
You're a hater, bro.
No way, bro.
You're a hater. I have an issue. I will never. It doesn't matter this podcast. It doesn't matter when I'm on the radio. It don't matter where I'm at. When people are hating on good players, I'm gonna call them out. I do not care, and that's what you're doing. You're hating.
I just don't think he's a good player.
I think you're a hater.
No way.
You are, and it's cool, but you're a hater. Big time hater, because there is nothing about Dalton from a career win standpoint, from a passing statistics standpoint, from a accolade standpoint that says he does not ball. So you can say whatever you want, but you are a hater. Period. A hater. And anybody that doesn't feel that way about Dalton, I don't even like Dalton. Let's be real about it. I don't. Mm-hmm. But y'all are haters if you don't. If you don't respect it, you have to respect it. You don't have to like it, but you respect it.
He's made a nice career for himself.
Oh, now he made a nice career.
I did. I said that.
You didn't say that. You did not say that. No, cut it out, bro. You said he made some money. That was it. You never said he had a nice career. You never said that. And then I start bringing up his accolades, his numbers. Now all of a sudden he's had a nice career.
Because he made some money.
Stop it, bro.
That's why.
Stop it.
He's been a starter and he's made some money. That's about all I can say.
Stop it, bro.
That's all I can say.
You're a hater, bro. You're a hater. It's cool.
Sure. I mean, I'll
You're
take
a hater,
that.
and that's fine.
But I think it's justified.
Please tell me where.
Those 3 Pro Bowls shouldn't count.
Please help me understand.
Still hasn't won a playoff game.
So why shouldn't his Pro Bowls count it?
And
so why shouldn't his Pro Bowls count it?
Falters in the big moments.
Why shouldn't his Pro Bowls have counted?
Because he was like a 3-time reserve or whatever it was. Probably.
Was he Pro Bowl? Yes or no? Oh, probably. You don't even know.
I just know for a fact he was not a top 3 quarterback any of those years. I know for a fact. I don't even have to look anything up.
Okay. I just love how...
So I'm taking Bennett and I'm taking Brady. And who else is in the AFC? No, man. Luck. There you go. There's 3.
Which Luck? When Luck was hurt or when Luck was playing?
I'm taking all of them over Dalton. What?
Who'd you name? You named Ben? You named Brady? And you said Luck. And Luck, we already talked about his career.
Man.
So help me understand. Please. Go. Let me hear this. Go. Help me. Please. So let me hear your hating self try to justify this, Mr. Hater.
I just named 3 guys.
So you said Luck. Luck didn't play every year. So please help me understand.
I don't know when he made those Pro Bowls.
So please help me understand.
We don't got to worry about it.
So please help me understand.
We don't got to worry about it.
No, you done talked it up. Go ahead, justify it. Yeah, man, you crazy, bro.
Who else was in the... Oh, Phillip Rivers, obviously. Yeah, so there's 4 guys.
Now Phillip Rivers, obviously.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, the stretch that Dalton got those Pro Bowls,
bro.
Rivers is clearly...
Stop it, bro.
Yep, so that's 4 guys right there.
Okay.
That's 4 guys.
How many playoff wins Phillip Rivers have, anyways?
He's got more than Dalton, I'll tell you that.
Well, everybody, right now, anybody that's made the playoffs and has won one playoff game.
Yep.
So Deshaun Watson, he has 1.
Yep. I would take Watson over Dalton, too.
But you know, Dalton's been to the Pro Bowl 3 times, right? I mean, not the Pro Bowl, but obviously the Pro Bowl, but he's been to the playoffs 3 times too, right?
Yeah, he hasn't won anything.
How many times has Deshaun been to the playoffs?
He's played less of a career than Dalton.
Oh, you know what your excuses?
What?
You still making excuses?
No, what do you mean?
I'm just saying. He leads his team to the playoffs.
Wait, you're taking Dalton over Watson?
I just simply said he's led his team to the playoffs multiple times.
Come on, man.
Multiple times.
And Watson has won. He's got it done.
He won 1 time.
And he
got lucky with that. Took him overtime to do it.
He's a more prolific player, just even in the regular season.
Bro, we're not comparing Dalton versus Watson. I'm just simply saying when you want to talk playoff wins, because that's your next go-to. You notice how first it was Dalton sucks. Then it was, well, he got some money. Then when I dropped the Pro Bowls on you, then it's okay, well, the numbers. Then we dropped the numbers on you. Yeah, now it's like, I don't care about the numbers. I'm not a numbers guy. Now it's, oh, well, all right, well, he got a playoff win. And then it's like, okay, well, he got 3 playoff appearances, but now we don't want to talk about that. Okay, it's cool. Just keep going. Yep.
Dalton ain't it, man. That's all.
Okay.
There's a reason they're moving off from him.
Well, technically, they haven't moved on from him yet.
Well, you're right. I guess with our whole Burrow Tua discussion, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty clear.
I know. Because if I was Cincy, I would potentially trade back.
Trade back, keep Dalton.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
Until I found somebody else another year that I absolutely loved and said, this guy is the guy.
I mean, yeah, next year would be the year to be tanking. No? Like
I'm agreeing with you.
Lawrence versus Burrow.
I think it's
Lawrence is... Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But you can't say, well, he had the best college career ever, because Trevor probably isn't going to have that. But Trevor, from a pro prospect standpoint, Trevor's up there in that Tua conversation. In fact, people like Trevor more because he has the size to go along with it.
Yeah, and he's clutch. I mean, he showed in the Ohio State game.
I don't care about that mythical.
He gets it done.
Clutch hit factor, all this stuff. I don't care about that. What have you done for the whole game? Let me see your body of work.
Listen, I've never said it wasn't flawed. It's actually completely flawed, and that's why you have Bengals and Browns. If you have me as your GM, it's kind of where it leads you down a bad path.
It's all good. We ain't tripping. You done with those quarterbacks?
I'm done.
All right.
I'm done. Yeah. I'm actually, you really got me flipped on Burrow now and kind of in the back of my mind here with all this talk you're giving me.
Man, you got me over here defending Andy Dalton.
I'll stick with Burrow though. Like that. I'll stick with Burrow over Tua.
I don't even like defending Andy Dalton.
I'll stick with Burrow over Tua.
I feel slimy for doing that. All right. Last one before we get up out of here, man. Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah.
Versus Chase Young.
Just better
career. Yeah.
Better career.
Well, and for the people that don't know, Chase Young obviously is edge rush out of Ohio State, was supposed to go for number 1 overall, like we already talked about with the other conversation. Fell off the last couple of games, and I want to say fell off, just didn't have the crazy production those last couple of games. When you got Isaiah Simmons, the do-it-all linebacker out of Clemson, man. Think Derwin James, think a guy that could play in the box, rushes the passer, dropping the coverage. I mean, they lined him up everywhere with Clemson, man. He's crazy productive and can fly. Absolutely fast, man. The video with him racing Travis Etienne went viral. When he beat him, it was like, whoa. Yeah.
Who's better?
Yeah, better career, man.
Better career. Where's Simmons going? They got him going to the Giants.
They said he could either go Lions at 4 or Giants at, I think the Giants pick what? 8? 8 or 9, I think.
Okay. And Chase Young's going to the Redskins.
Mm-hmm.
Redskins now this goes back to the whole Burrow thing, and man, this is tough. Because Chase Young apparently is the can't miss prospect here.
Yeah, that's what they say.
This is what everyone's telling me.
But then they also say that Isaiah Simmons is probably the best defensive player in the draft.
Isaiah Simmons is apparently the future of the NFL here. Yeah. I was reading an article about that. Mm-hmm. I'm curious to get your thoughts on that as well. I'll go Chase Young. Just from what I'm hearing, he's the can't miss prospect. He was supposed to go number 1. Mm-hmm. And I think there's been guys that have been able to do it, especially, I mean, pass rushers. They're able to do it aside from organization and get the stats and all that type of stuff. So I'll go with Chase Young. Maybe Simmons, as much as we're saying he could be electric and versatile and all those things, maybe is there some just unknown there of, is he going to be able to do it? I don't know. I have no clue. I'm talking out my ass right now. Because you're looking at me crazy. No. I got to make something up. I got to make something up.
First off, I'm going to tell you off the break. I agree with you that Chase Young is going to have the better career. Just because he doesn't have to worry about the other variables. He's a pass rusher. So it don't matter 3-4, 4-3. It doesn't matter where he's playing at, what's the scheme, who's around him. He can rush the passer. Rushing the passer, you getting 10 to 15 sacks a season, you're going to have a great career. And that's just that for Chase. With Isaiah, honestly, man, when you watch the tape, Isaiah is probably the best just pound for pound player in the draft. That's Isaiah. But the thing that's going to be unique about Isaiah is how are they going to utilize him? Because you can play him predominantly in the 4-3 at any of those linebacker spots. You can play him in the 3-4 at the inside spots. But my question is, are they going to use him where they're blitzing him more or having him more in coverage? Are they going to be playing him almost like a hybrid safety like a Derwin James? Or are they going to play him predominantly as an inside linebacker? Those are some of the question marks around him. Now, he can flourish at any of those spots, but it's all about the scheme in which they're using him in and how they're using him. That's going to be the biggest part about it. It's kind of like with TJ Watt. TJ, can he drop into coverage? Absolutely. Can he get interceptions in coverage? Yeah. Can he be productive in coverage? Yeah. But when he rushes the passer, that's his bread and butter. So with Isaiah, it's like, can he do all these things? Sure, absolutely. But are they going to put him in a position where he can just be him? If they do that, I think, man, he can change the game because that's where the game is going to. Think how Ryan was. That's the same type of mold. This type of guy right here. Same type.
Yeah.
But that's the question, man. How long is it going to take for that coordinator to put him in the position where he needs to be? Whereas with Chase, like I said, it doesn't matter where you playing him at. It doesn't matter AFC, NFC. It doesn't matter if they want to run the ball, if they want to throw it 60 times. He's going to be productive. And that's why I think for me, man, Chase Young, I agree with you in terms of going to have the better professional career just because of those things. It's less variables. Kind of like Mario Williams. Mario Williams, I mean, he was a part of some good teams, he was part of some bad teams. But even if he wasn't having his best game, he go out there and get 2 sacks. You don't care.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing with Chase right now.
Yeah. So we agree on that.
Finally, something we can agree on.
Do you like my reasoning, though?
I did like your reasoning, man.
It was, you just got to pull a rabbit out of the hat there. Hey, sometimes man.
It's like that. See, the difference between me
it sounded professional, I guess.
The difference, though, right? You tell them on camera that you're doing that. Well, I don't.
What do you mean?
You be like, yo, man, I pulled that out my head. Hey, I'm not telling you.
I'm just being real, dude.
Nah, bro. Yeah, man.
I just got to be real about it, man. Because, I mean, how many... It's the funniest thing. There was... there's this radio show I listen to. It's Le Batard show. Yeah. And they got Stu Gatz. And they did a whole segment on him. This was way back in the day where he didn't watch any like college hoops games or anything. Right. They just gave them the team and the players and like their years. And he was able to give a breakdown like, okay, you got the center here. He's a senior. He's a KG veteran. He's going to be able to get it done in March Madness. The point, just looking at the box score.
That's it.
So, I mean, that's kind of like my point or like what I'm making fun of. Yeah. It's, it's funny.
I like it, bro. I like it. Well, I'm glad we were officially able to agree on something.
Yes.
For everybody else, man, enjoy this interview we got coming up. Like I said, man, Saeed Blacknall, man, newly signed receiver with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's definitely gonna be a dope interview, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Absolutely.
All the viewers. Definitely shout out to y'all as well.
Yes, and until next time.
Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very special guest joining us on the podcast today. Recently signed wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, formerly with the XFL LA Wildcats, Penn State University alumni. He's played with the Miami Dolphins and the Oakland Raiders. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Saeed Blacknall. Saeed, man, how you doing, baby?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, we appreciate you, man. Definitely appreciate taking some time out. Obviously, it's a crazy time we're living in, man, so I hope you're staying safe out here.
Yes, sir.
I like it, man. So first off, man, just tell us a little about your experience in the XFL and with the LA Wildcats.
It was interesting because there was another league previous the year before that. I forget what it's called. It starts with an A, but
the AAF, yeah.
Yes, that league. So I had buddies who played in that while I was still in the NFL or free agent, and so they were kind of giving me insight before I made my decision to even enter the league. So I kind of had a gist of how it would go, or you may go on that side. So it was just a good experience. Same type of coaching, just like the league, structure wise, everything. But it was just so, fun to just keep playing football, especially at a time where no one was playing football or really doing anything. So it was interesting. I had a lot of fun.
I like that. And I know, most NFL guys say the same thing, man. When you're taking a chance on going to some of these other leagues that are starting up, that is a big decision process because our goal as players is to stay in the NFL, man. So I know that probably took a lot for you just mentally to take that chance also, right?
Yeah, but for me, I just like ball. I like playing football. So anyway, I think, and I took the mindset of what's the best off season to have other than training. Obviously, you have a training sessions throughout your off season, but you go get to play football and actually have game film and get game time, speed, practice and whatnot. I was like, why not?
I like that, man. So would you say that was the thing that made it, I guess, most appealing to you, the XFL?
Yeah, just to go play ball, get some more film, just to work on your craft. You can't get better at football, not, just doing drills all summer or whatever. But it was just perfect timing for me. I was talking to my family and everything, and we all agreed and, weighed our pros and cons to it. So we just decided, hey, at the end of the day, you get to go play football.
I like that.
Now, you mentioned the XFL being interesting. Is there a thing that you've learned the most in the NFL/professional process thus far? Maybe something that surprised you. You were expecting things to be one way and it was kind of the opposite?
Nothing that really stuck out because the NFL is a business first, and the XFL took the same exact approach. You got to make the team, get through cuts and everything, go through mini camp. Only thing it was the time was condensed with the XFL. Obviously, their calendar is a lot smaller, so the months we'll have for OTAs and whatnot in the league, we had to do that within weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So I guess the timing was a little different. I think the speed of it, as far as how much we had to get in fast and see what the teams are going to shape out to be. I forget the numbers who went into camp, but it was you had to figure all that stuff out. So I think that was the biggest difference. But me starting in the league, getting that taste of the NFL, and then going to that, I think it wasn't nothing that was big, shocking, or anything to me that stuck out like that.
And I did think that the XFL did a good job with the guys that they brought in, guys like you, and just a ton of other guys who had NFL experience in some way, shape, or form. I thought that was one of the big things that made it appealing to the fans like myself of even watching the XFL.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was just going to elaborate on that. I was surprised too, because when I entered, I didn't really know anybody yet until you obviously got there or even figured out what team you were on. So I found out Josh Johnson was my quarterback. He was in the league for 10 years.
Right.
DeJuan Harris, he played for 6. Just names that just hearing them back in the day when they got drafted, or just seeing them in passing through workouts or whatnot. So it was cool to see that it was the same type of guys just like you, and it was just a different color and the logo now.
I like that.
Can you take us through the whole COVID situation with the XFL and them postponing it and then eventually canceling the season? Like, what was your initial reaction to the postponement, and what's your thought process as things were playing out and then them eventually canceling? Like, what were your steps? What was your thought process? What were the type of things you were doing?
Okay, so we're going through the season, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. I think that was the last time it was like normal, and I think the middle of week 4, that's when we heard about the virus, and then, kind of, I think it started in LA or Washington, I forget, and everyone was talking about it. And obviously, there's a team in Seattle, the Seattle Dragons, I believe, and they were next up for us to play soon, and so we were already talking about that in the locker room and through coaches and everything. It wasn't hard to like keep down because it was on the news, it was on Twitter. You couldn't really, your family was probably talking about it and friends. So it was like, okay, we about to go to Seattle, and that sounds like that's ground zero over there. So that's when we got really interested.
Coach, I ain't feeling too well this week, baby.
Yeah, what are we gonna do? Who's gonna get on the plane? Like, stuff like that. Just like real life, like situations. Because just a week ago, days ago, we were just talking football, getting ready for the next opponent, and life was normal. And then like it just hit so fast. But I think, honestly, I think when the NBA canceled, that's when I knew it was about to life was about to change for everybody. So it really wasn't too much on the XFL or our team that it was like a big talk. We were talking about it, but the decisions around us were already made for us to where we didn't have to really do much. Like, especially when the NBA canceled, that a big business, big business doesn't cancel for anything or stop for anything. So when they canceled, we already knew. We knew it was curtains from there.
Man, I was frustrated too because I felt like the XFL had did such an awesome job branding you guys and then promoting you guys that it was talked about so much. And we know, I mean, in a NFL-driven world, NFL-driven society, to have another league getting that much interest, having those national TV games and things like that, and having good turnouts at these games, I mean, that takes a lot of work. So for it to just stop like that, man, I was like, God, this is crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. I think for me too, I think like it's so many thoughts you could have about the time and everything, but obviously this was bound to be a part of our history, this controversy. But like you said, it was such a big business that was just starting up. It looked like it was going to be around for a little while. So hopefully, in my opinion, I think they'll be back because I don't think everyone's just going to turn his back on that league because it was really dope. Yeah. It's a nice league.
Now, you mentioned conversations with players during this time. What were the sentiments or general consensus of kind of playing versus not playing, or just how players were feeling about the virus in the league?
I think it just got to a point where it was like everyone was kind of looking at each other, waiting to see, like everyone's just waiting to see what your left and your right is going to do. So like, it's not like no one was like standing up and saying, no, we ain't, you know what I mean? We kind of like collectively just huddled up and like, we were still practicing. We were still doing everything, meetings and everything. It was just like more of a side talk, but it was still a big elephant in the room. But then, like I said, I guess when the NBA pulled the plug, it was like, it was so much easier because it was like, all right, no one has to make that like an awkward decision or something. You know what I mean? So especially, like I said, with that next game after Tampa came to us, we were going to Seattle. And I believe the airports were shut down, so I didn't even know how we were going to get there.
Wow. That's nuts, man. Now, transition a little bit. Talk about the decision process that went into you signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I had an opportunity to, have a workout with them. But like I said, I had already made my decision to join the XFL and, do what I just did. But I knew, like, when they if they came around before, I knew if I did what I had to do in the XFL league, ultimately, it would come back around. But I was thankful for them to, still be interested in me and ultimately sign me. It was a blessing. I'm very, very thankful, and I can't wait for the opportunity.
Now, what did they say to you in the, recruiting process? What did they seeing you, what's kind of like the expectations that they laid out?
It wasn't too much conversation between us and me and the Steelers. More so through me and my agent, and I talked to some guys. I met some guys through text and everything, strength coach and everybody and the trainer stuff like. But I'm obviously coming in. They see a role for me. You know, they had an interest in me, and I did what I had to do to, you know, put on display in the XFL to just show them what I can do. So hopefully I can go in there, you know, do what I have to do to show them exactly who I am, who they think that I am.
I like it. Now, I've seen you have the nickname of being Megatron Jr. They talk about the speed that you play with, man. So for the Steelers fans out there, man, what can they expect to see from you, you know, and what you could bring to this team?
I want to just do it all. Whatever they ask me to do, I'll just do. I don't like to just, you know, have a category of I'll do this, do that. I just want to do whatever it takes for that team to win. And if my role is to do A, B, or C, I'm going to do it.
I like
but
that.
But for as far as Megatron Jr., I got that in high school. Someone nicknamed me that. And I guess they put it on socials. And
yeah.
you know how social media is. So I just took this toll. So those words really never came from me at all. But, you know, it just stuck with me everywhere I went. But it was pretty cool.
I like it. Hey, man, it's not a bad nickname to have. I mean, think about Calvin Johnson. He was an absolute beast playing the game, man.
He was my idol. Yep.
Do you have a favorite game or moment at Penn State that sticks out to you? Maybe there was just something unique about that experience, or, you know, just being up in Happy Valley?
I would say at home, first of all, my favorite game would be the Big Ten Championship because we won the championship, and that's what you work all summer, all spring, and pretty much all the years you're at school to get to that point, and we finally did it. But as far as game, I have to just say that the whiteouts, like the time we beat Ohio State.
I'm not gonna lie, the whiteouts look nuts on TV.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't beat that. Like I can't even really talk too much on the environment because it's like that. Like you just got to see it yourself. You got to be there. You just got to attend one of those games one time in your life, and you won't regret it.
I like that, man. Now, you said that you've had some conversations, obviously, with the strength coach and the training staff, and we know OTAs this year are going to be a lot different. So just take us through, I guess, the process and what the plan is for you guys when you get back started up and everything.
I'm actually, you know, learning that as like time goes by myself because I'm just all hit us at once, but they don't, you know, everyone really doesn't have too many answers of what's about to happen, especially when we all, you know, kind of report or the date of report comes. And like, obviously we have to go through virtual meetings and everything. So I myself don't really know too much how it's going to work, but it's obviously going to be virtual. And I think it's going to be, pretty cool. It's like kind of going back to school, but it's, you know, as long as you got communication, I think you can still get a lot done. And that's at the bottom. So I think it'll work out.
Now, is there a best advice you've received thus far? It could either be in the NFL, the professional process, or even just some type of like life wisdom or piece of advice that you take with you.
I have just a lot of little jewels and sayings that, you know, I carry with me throughout life, just like anybody else. But I guess one big one I could just say, it's a business. Like to anybody, like you could just tell that to anybody that's trying to like go to the professional levels or anything. Just remember, it's a business. And when you just say that is the broad statement of that just comes with protecting your job, doing what you got to do, being accountable, and, you know, just handling your business. And once you realize it's a business, then a lot of things and actions come with that.
Man, I am glad to hear you say that. Listen, as a guy who played 9 years in this league, man, that was one of the hardest things, I guess, for me to adapt to and understand, because high school, college, you never hear anyone say it's a business. It's always team, it's always fun. You don't think about the other intricacies that go with that, man. But at this level, man, it is a business, and you have to be a professional about your work, your craft, if you want to stick around, man.
Absolutely.
I like that, man. Now, before we let you go, man, we always ask our guys this, man. So tell us about your welcome to the NFL moment.
Welcome to the NFL moment. Honestly, my welcome to the NFL moment was just was like a large summertime. And you probably like, what does he mean by that? My walk into the NFL moment was getting coached by Coach Gruden. So
okay,
that was like that under that year. He taught me so much ball, like just hearing him talk football every day in meetings, like throughout the week. Because I'm on practice squad, so we have to attend all the meetings. We're pretty much on the team, but like we're not going out to play on Sundays, but. So you're hearing everything. You're hearing the adjustments, the calls, and he had the Gruden camp, so he's on the QBs like right on Weiss. But so it's just like it was interesting. I'm forever thankful for them and that opportunity, and just being able to be in the room with a guy like that. That was probably my big welcome to NFL football. And he just been his track record. He's just been around for long. So it's just like just to hear him talk ball for a full season, it was amazing.
Well, I always tell people, man, that it's like a special occasion, man, when you get the opportunity to play under some of these legendary coaches like a Gruden, like a Coach Tomlin. I mean, when you go down and you name some of these historical coaches, guys who've had Super Bowl championships and things like that, I mean, just the things that you learn on the day-to-day in these conversations, it's invaluable.
Yes, sir.
I like that, man. Hey, man, so we definitely appreciate you again, man, taking your time to stop by on the podcast and everything. Wish you nothing but the best. Ball out this year. Stay safe throughout this whole process, man.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. Peace.
Have a good day.